Yo, G gang. Hey, I want to first of all, I want to apologize, man, for not telling you guys, or for us not finding out the outcome, because I don't even know the outcome. The video irritated my soul so much because of PTSD, because I've been through this type of situation. So I had to just cut the video off. But I got enough comments to where people really want to know what happened, and if the mom had to pay what, and who got the kid, and how much she had to pay if she had to pay. I do want to know now, since you guys are curious and I'm curious as well, and I shouldn't have left you guys with a cliffhanger like that. But I guess I was being selfish in that moment. And for that I apologize sincerely. So let's go ahead and tap in and find out, because it's really 20 minutes of this video left. This is a 45-minute video. I was just like, man, I'm done. You know what I mean? So we'll go ahead and finish the rest of the 20 minutes and find out what happened. But just know, the mom is acting childish. She's acting like the child. The father, calm as a cucumber. Let's go ahead and finish the video, man.
Present.
No, thank you.
Any closing arguments?
Your Honor, I think it's clear that in this instance, for whatever reason, whether it's medical, whether it's work, whether it's an attitude adjustment, or for whatever reason, mother is not capable of caring for the child at this time. She also wasn't able to care for the child at the beginning of 2022. Dad was able to step up at that time, took care of her. He made sure that schooling was taken care of. He made sure that the medical was taken care of. And he's simply asking that if mom is not able to care for the child, custody revert to him so that he's happy to abide by any parenting time schedule. I think mother should have visits. I don't know that they need to be supervised at this point. But I would say that the standard schedule, alternating weekends, Emma needs to come back to Michigan so she can see both of her parents, and she can thrive in what she's already familiar with. She can live at the home with father and his girlfriend, who she's also familiar with. There's no indication on the record, or there's no substantial evidence that would show that he has been unfit to care for her during those time periods. She argues that she calls her child every day and dad does not. She's the one that sent the child to Florida because she's not able to take care of him or take care of Emma. Dad is able to take care of her.
But dad doesn't call her. Dad doesn't make an effort to even see her.
We would ask.
Now, see, this is why I cut the video off before. It's hard for me to see a grown adult, a parent, cry like it. It's hard. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. But we're gonna do the video for sure. But she's over there pouting like a 2-year-old. It is very irritating. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care. I don't care if it was. I don't care who you are. This got to be annoying to you guys. I ain't gonna lie. But it's very entertaining for us to see the outcome of this, and hopefully she's gonna get what she deserves. And she keeps talking about the dad calling when she sent the child away. So she wants to send the child away, but want the dad to call every day, the child that should be with him that should have never left in the first place. Yeah, all right, lady. Shout out to Pink Book Lessons for the video too. I'm gonna leave her link to her video and her channel in the description box below. But this is insane, bro.
You understand?
I'll give you a chance to make your closing argument. Just be quiet for a minute.
And see, this is my frustration with this case. The whole time she's been allowed to yell and scream and cut people off and do all this stuff. She's been very disrespectful. If I was over this case, I would have been kicked Honey Boo Boo out.
Who's Honey Boo Boo? You never seen Honey Boo Boo?
You better add neck and eye.
Neck and eye.
Like, no, this woman is out of order.
As far as the contempt show cause, Your Honor, we're not looking for any substantial like fine or anything like that. I think the matter was we wanted Emma returned to Michigan so that father can continue to see her in some capacity. So like I said, no fine, but mind is on the record. She was found in contempt for violating the order, but our end goal is a change in custody.
Ms. Williams, any closing arguments you want to make?
And this is how men play themselves. He's the one who had to go out and get a lawyer. And you have the lawyer sitting up here talking about he's not interested in a fine for her. Not only should he be going for custody, but he should be making sure that she is financially punished for what she did. We're talking about a man who's been paying her child support the whole time, and the child was either with him or with her mother.
Hell, man, we doing that. Pick the phone up, child.
None of you, I don't know why none of you see that before she even went to Florida, he didn't see her for 3 months. And now
How
all of
could you
a
keep her
sudden,
away?
because she went to Florida, now he wants to play dad again. Like, how is that fair to this child?
She 2 years old. She got to be.
You're gonna make her come home and be what? Sad, depressed, angry because she has to come home?
She's supposed to be with her parents.
She's thriving in a school. She's doing what she needs to do. And now all of a sudden we're gonna rip her yet again from another school. Because I hate to say it, this child should not be in first grade. There's no way she should be in first grade because I don't know how they passed her from kindergarten.
Anything else?
She frozen.
No.
She frozen.
All right. Mr. Gould, on behalf of his client, filed a motion regarding custody, parenting time, and support. Also, a show cause was filed. The law is somewhat unclear, I guess, on the necessity for his permission to change the domicile of the child when one parent has sole legal custody. That's certainly true that permission is not required to move more than 100 miles in Michigan, which normally it is required if one party wants to change the child's legal residence with joint legal custody. Case law is a little bit less clear on whether that same permission is needed or not to move the domicile out of state. I'm not sure about the situation with grandma right now. Maybe it may be just fine. However, as I've indicated, this is not decided between a third party and a parent. This is decided between the parents. And I don't even get to the point where I can consider third parties for custody, as I've stated, unless either parent is determined to be incapable of or unwilling to raise a child, or both parents are considered to be unfit. And I'm not making that finding at this time. So at this point, the child custody factors would be analyzed by preponderance of evidence. The testimony, and Ms. Williams was given ample opportunity to present any testimony she wanted. Her testimony didn't necessarily consist of a lot of things that could be plugged into the 12 child custody factors. Mr. Hughes did. So the first factor comes down to essentially a bond between the parent and the child, whether who the child's bonded with, who the child goes to with problems, does a parent relate to a child, things like that. Specifically, the law says the love, affection, and other emotional ties existing between the parties involved and the child. And Mr. Hughes testified about his relationship with the child, the fact that they do things together. They go to, they play outside, they ride the quad, they go to the trampoline park, they go on trips together, they go to the lake, he reads books to her.
Let the court find that it's always the good dads that got to go through the BS. Put that in the record. Now, when the dad don't want the child, never got to go through this, never got to pay child support, nothing. This is what happens when you have a good father that has a great relationship with their kid, pays the child support, does whatever he needs to do in the child's life. He got to go through like 50,000 hoops just to see his own child. The mom don't want to take care of the child. She sent it off to a lady that's not even her mom that she calls her mom. And she's the third party. So she wants to get child support for her own child that she won't even watch and refuses to let the dad take the child. It doesn't make any sense, bro. How did you lay down with this lady, bro? I know there were red flags. For sure I know there was. This ain't the first time she was acting like this.
He prepares cereal and school lunches, the lunches at school, but dinner's prepared for her. And I would find him in favor on that factor. The second is the capacity and disposition of the parties involved to give a child love, affection, and guidance, and continue raising the child in the child's original and to continue educating the child. It appears that I don't know where the child really went to school from for the fall of 21 or the fall of 22 up until she moved in with her grandmother, but it sounds like he provided schooling for the child for the second semester anyway of the last school year. When the child was residing with him, it sounds like there was some issue with the threat. It sounds like that was dealt with. He noted some behavior issues, so he made himself a presence in the child's school. He said that improved things. He said at home she was just fine. And for those reasons, I would find him in favor on factor 2. Factor 3 is the capacity and disposition of the parties to provide the child with food, clothing, medical care, and other care recognized under the laws of the state. Mr. Hughes testified that the child has food and clothing in his care, and those necessities aren't in question. And I would find him in favor on that factor. The next factor is the length of time the child has lived in a stable, satisfactory environment. As I've indicated, the child appears to have moved around a fair amount, and hopefully that's not going to become a problem as time goes on or in the future. It sounds like Dad was really ready, willing, and able a year ago to provide care for the child on an extended basis. It sounds like it doesn't sound like the mom, Ms. Williams, is really capable of raising the child on a consistent basis. Child was with both of them, then with mom for a short period of time, then with Dad for 4 or 5, 6 months, and then with mom for the summer, and now with grandma for what was presumed was going to be the school year. So it doesn't sound like Ms. Williams really has the either the capability or the interest to provide long-term care for this child, and I find in favor of the father on that factor. Fifth factor is the permanence of a family unit in either home. Sounds like Ms. Williams lives with a friend and Mr. Hughes lives with his girlfriend. So that factor is not really relevant, I guess. The moral fitness of the parties involved, I didn't hear anything that would cause me to believe that either of them were immoral or that they had a criminal record or abuse neglect record that would affect their ability to parent. So I wouldn't consider that factor. Mental and physical health of the parties involved. I heard 3 different reasons why Ms. Williams was not able to raise the child on a steady and consistent basis. I heard she works too much, that the child needed an attitude adjustment, and that she had health issues. So that would certainly impact that factor. And really her mental health, I guess. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there.
You know it is mental
The
health.
behavior on the record was a little bit out of the ordinary. And her testimony or statements consisted mostly of yelling and not really just calmly and coolly presenting evidence. And so I'm not really 100% sure what's going on there, but certainly it appears that that there might be some issues going on, and I would find in favor of Mr. Hughes on that factor. Child's homeschool and community record. I didn't hear a whole lot about the homeschool or community record from Ms. Williams. Mr. Hughes, however, testified that the child did well in school when with him. She was recommended to be passed on to the next grade. I guess it would have been nice to see some attendance records for that period of time to establish the exact date she was in his care. Didn't have that to consider, but I guess she was in kindergarten then and she's in first grade now, so it must have been a recommendation that she move on. So I'd find in favor of Mr. Hughes on that factor. Next factor is the child's preference, and I don't know what the child would tell me. She might say she wants to live with grandma, she might say mom, she might say dad. Really, it's not going to be relevant at this point. And I don't like to say that because I think kids should have a chance to have some input in these things, even though it's not usually enough to overcome substantial amounts of evidence to the contrary. But I guess I'm assuming that the only real options here are between Ms. Ratton and Mr. Hughes, and that Ms. Williams' house isn't really an option. So, that for the reasons I've stated regarding third-party custody, I guess the child's preference or an in-camera child interview isn't really necessary. So that's not going to be considered at this point. The next factor is, it's a long one, but it comes down to the ability of the parents to co-parent. And it sounds like when left to their own devices, they co-parent okay. I mean, mom was having an issue. She needed to lean on dad for a place to live for a while. And he moved her in. It's his parents' house, but he moved her in for a couple different periods of time, it sounds like. And then mom needed help with the child at the beginning of last year. And Dad stepped up and he took the child under his wing and provided care for her for the rest of the school year. And then when mom wanted her back, he gave her back. And they saw the child for whatever periods of time in the meantime. And the child was with the other parent. So it sounds like they can co-parent when they have specific operating instructions maybe, but then this issue with the child being sent off to Florida through a monkey wrench and things. And so I'll find the parties equal on that factor. The next factor was domestic violence. It didn't appear there was none testified to anyway, so that factor wouldn't be considered. Any other factor that the court feels is relevant, certainly the child being moved off to live in Florida is relevant with a third party over the objection of the parent who was the father. He has not agreed to that. He's not been found to be unfit, so his opinion has to be considered. And an order can't be entered contrary to that opinion unless the court were to make that unfitness finding over his objection.
Hey, you guys see, and grandma right here, you just see her face, you know what I'm saying? Like, her face, she's just looking like she can't believe this. Like, she's so disappointed. Now, why would she want to come in between the real father and his daughter based off of her daughter? You know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't even care. She's acting like she's the other parent. That's the problem. When when the daughter don't got common sense and the mom don't got common sense either, that's a bigger problem. You got a mom say, hey, that man deserves to be in his daughter's life. I'm not gonna take that child. It's not my child. Like you guys made that kid together. But she had no problem getting involved in herself and then coming to court trying to testify for her daughter who she knows can't take care of her child and got some mystery illness that she will not disclose. Yes, she doesn't take care of her own kids. She just sends her off. Man, listen, bro. We know the kids that were sent off to live with grandma because the parents couldn't take care of it. I was one of them. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't lying to me. And the judge, the fact that he didn't find you in contempt of court, the fact that the dad is not even trying to fine you for you should be fined for is amazing. But that's what we do sometimes. We're like, bro, we don't even got time for it. I just want my daughter. And that turns around and it bites us in the arse, because if the shoe was on the other foot, she will for sure want all that back pay. She want everything that comes with it. Yep, send him to jail, fine him, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop doing that, man. We got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. And we should be okay with taking everything that we're allowed to do and to the other person that has done some wrongdoing. We should be okay with letting that happen and not feel some type of guilt about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for me, that's what it was. When I went through that, I felt some type of guilt. But looking back, I probably would have did it a little bit different because it was my right to, and I know at the same time, if the shoe was on the other foot, she sure would have did it to me. That's a fact. I don't question that one bit. But yeah, mom, the grandma was here. She's a part of the problem.
I've said 3 times now, I think I'm not making that finding. So at this point, Mr. Hughes will be granted sole physical custody of the child. Woo! The parties will be granted joint legal custody of the child. The child will be returned back to Michigan and in Mr. Hughes' care. Ms. Williams, to the extent she's able, will be afforded reasonable parenting time pursuant to front of the court reasonable parenting time policy. And I need some more information to determine a child support obligation here.
So there it is. The father has sole physical custody of the kid. They have joint legal custody. Honey Boo Boo is probably about to have another meltdown. The father is making $17.67 per hour, working 40 hours per week. And outside of his daughter with this woman, he has a son who's also 7 years old. They're the same age, from a whole nother woman. We have to keep watching though, because right now they're about to discuss money.
Who's typically claimed this child for a dependent on tax time?
I have, but I've always given Kristen most of that money for having
She's back.
me clean.
No, you do not. Don't even lie.
I'm not.
Oh my God.
If an order doesn't determine it, then it would be.
Hey, let me. Can I say one more thing, guys? Check this out. I used to hate. I hated like if I was on child support ever again, which I won't be, I would never have a woman take me off child support. My son's mom took me off child support twice. First time I was ecstatic. Guess what she did? She let that money accrue up for months and months and months. Put me right back on it. Guess what they did? Came for that back pay, $4,000. Woo! Boy, did that hurt. She did it a second time. I knew better. Second time, you know what they did? $4,500 tax return, gone. I said, next time she did that, I'm calling them myself to tell them, don't you dare take me off child support. That's another play that they run. Oh, I'm going to take my baby daddy off child support. Whoa, 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 whoa. Man, that's a whole play, sir. Don't let that happen. Because you think you'll be good for about 6 months, and if you're paying $400 and 4 times 6 is 20, do the math. Don't let that woman take you off child support, man. Don't do it, sir. I've been through there. Been there, done that. I learned that game. Screwed me over big time. I wanted to go buy a car. Oh, that $4,500. I had my car picked out. I was calling the IRS. Looks like the child support took. Oh my God, boy! I must have threw that phone. Yeah, this ain't about me though.
The majority of the time would be the party who would claim the child. So I'm going to put that in Dad's column. You had the child for 6 months of last year.
No, my mom
Got
should claim
custody
her.
going forward.
No,
Shut up.
my mom should
Shut
claim
up.
her.
No, your mom's not going to claim her. Mr. Hughes is
not.
going to claim her. He's
Thank
the
you.
parent. He had the child for the first 5-6 months of the year.
No, he didn't.
And you had the child for some period of time.
Listen.
Your Honor, could I say something just real
No,
quick?
no,
My phone's
no,
gonna
no.
I
die.
want to hear you,
I
lady.
just need real quick. Just my phone's about to die. Is there any way we can wait till the end of the school year to send her back to Michigan so she doesn't have to change schools again?
No, she shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been changed down there in the first place.
Hello.
I guess if Mr. Hughes agrees to that, that's fine. But I'm getting the idea that he doesn't.
No.
So that's.
Then he
not-
better figure out a way to bring her home.
When I say I am sick and tired, and yes,
telling
I
you.
said tired. I'm sick
Tired.
and tired of this little whiny Karen right here.
I'm
She
telling
is
you.
so annoying. No, you're going to bring her back to Michigan because you're the one who took her down there. In 2 different court sessions, they already established that you violated the order. You really should be in jail right now.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
Ma'am, how much do you make in your position at your work? Where do you work?
Judge,
How
go
many
grab
hours a
her.
week?
Between 32 and 40.
You have minor children. How many minor children do you have in addition to this child?
3.
3 total or 3 more?
3 more.
Ooh.
And do you claim those children for tax purposes?
We split years between my younger 2, and then my son's dad claims him.
And sir, do you claim your son or not?
No, his mom does.
He doesn't even see his son.
Shut
The
up.
nerve
Nobody
of
asked
this
you.
deadbeat. She's constantly questioning his parenting when she has 4 kids from 3 men, and
don't
now
got
at
none
this
of 'em.
point she has custody of none of them. This woman
Come
is
on.
a 4-time baby mama, and you have none of your kids. And by the way, she's making $13.50 per hour. The
Man,
gravy
come on.
train is over.
Over.
Either
Done.
do you have health
Finito.
insurance on the child?
He has Medicaid.
Florida Medicaid at the moment.
Do child support real quick. All right, utilizing the incomes provided in the overnights effective January 1st, Ms. Williams would be ordered to pay $213 a month support, 15 ordinary medical, total of $228 per month.
Let's
And
go.
Mr. Hughes' support would be set to 0, obviously.
Come
At that
on.
time, he'd be the recipient of support.
Yeah.
Child's to be turned over to Mr. Hughes within 7 days. Anything
He's
7
gonna
days.
have to. He's
What's
gonna
that?
have to find a way to come get her, Your Honor. My husband and I both work full time. I've got no way to bring her
This
back.
lady
Are
got
they?
a
Are you
super-
able to meet halfway?
It would depend on the time. I've got, I get like 3 days off, and then I go back to another job.
A weekend? My client's available to drive on the weekend.
My weekends are when I work. I work for a food vendor. We work at art festivals.
Your husband as well?
I guess we can try to figure something out. Like I said,
You
my
guess.
battery is really gonna die. You guys are probably gonna lose me any second. But go ahead, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just don't have a
Well-
way to bring her totally back to Michigan.
I get that. I mean, a situation has been created here against Mr. Hughes' interest, and to require him to drop everything to travel to Florida to pick up a child that shouldn't have been there in the first place,
He
at
did-
least not for this long. He addressed this right off the bat. He filed his first paperwork back in the beginning of November, as soon as this whole deal went down. He should have been the one who was asked.
But
to
he
be-
didn't contact his daughter. he may have contacted the courts, but at that time he was not in contact with his daughter.
And now her mama is talking stupid.
Right.
So now we're seeing exactly where she got it from. You're the one who took her down to Florida. You had no right to do so either. It's been discussed throughout this whole case that you are a third party. So basically you kidnapped her. Everything she's talking right now is just sounding like blah, blah, blah. They should be financially responsible and physically responsible for bringing this kid back to Michigan. And even for the attorney to suggest that he should meet halfway. What are you talking about? He didn't go halfway to bring her down there.
Right.
Regardless, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You.
So whatever's easiest on him, Mr. Hughes, what's the quickest you can maybe meet halfway to pick the child up or go get the child?
Meet halfway tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I can't do it tomorrow.
It's gotta be a weekend because I work Monday through
garbage.
Friday.
Well, I'm at work right now until Monday.
I mean, I
you
can
mean? You at
talk to
home.
my boss and see if I can take a couple days off to drive halfway down there, but that's me losing money.
Ms. Williams, what about you? I mean, you're kind of responsible for creating this whole situation. What can you do to help get the child back sooner rather than later?
I have no way to go get her. My car's not gonna make it to Florida. There's no way.
There's no way. No way.
Your Honor, we were brainstorming. Maybe
And
my
she's
client
not
is willing to
flying-
fly down to
She-
Florida and
she's-
pick up Emma and bring back, but there's the cost of the plane ticket. Is the
No, he's going.
She's
He want to go
not
fly and get her.
flying from Florida back home by herself. No.
This
He
woman
didn't
is
say
a
that.
complete idiot. And obviously she's too dumb to understand that that's not what he just said. He said that he will fly to Florida to go and pick her up. That means when your daughter is getting on the plane, he'll be getting on the plane with her.
right.
Good.
I
He
suggested
said he would fly down there. And get her.
She goofy,
Well,
bro.
I can't upfront money for him to fly to Florida because I
You
don't
got-
even.
Bro,
I pay $325.
you guys see, every time they come up with a scenario, she got an excuse for it. Every time they say, okay, well, if you can't do that, how about we do this? I can't. How about this? I can't. I work. I'm at work right now. You at the house. What is you talking about? I see the dirty curtains in the background type. What is you talking about? You at work right now. He said he'd come get that child tomorrow. He was willing to take days off even though he's going to lose money. You can't do the same? You should be able to because you don't have none of your kids. The only thing you got to pay is rent. Now you got to pay child support. You don't get that child back to his dad. Start paying that man his money, all the anguish, mental anguish you put him and his child through. And you and your mama. You and your mammy. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's insane.
$5 in child support on my son, and now you want me to pay him $215
Yes.
Like, that leaves me with nothing to support my other children at all.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
But nobody cares that, oh,
I need
All right,
mental
so Mr.
anguish
Hughes is going to
myself.
fly down and get the child. Ms. Ratton, he'll let you know when he's going to be there and what time to have the child available for him. Ms. Williams will repay the amount that it costs for those flights within 6 months.
I don't think she should have to pay it all.
And I
Nobody
wish your
asked
mama
you.
would just be quiet. If you
Right.
don't want your daughter to pay for it, then you pay for it. It was you
Hello.
and your daughter who came up with this plan to take this child away from her father in the first place. You thought this child belonged to you. Totally ignored the father. So the mama is out of order too. And I wish you would be quiet because we don't care what you're talking about.
no,
Thank
I'm
you.
not.
Said she won't pay him back. Ooh. She gonna be held in contempt though. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, if contempt proceeding is filed as a result of that, then we'll have a hearing on that. But at
Go
this
from
point,
there, lady.
that would be the order.
It's a lot that I saw in this case. Like, number one, the mother wasn't held accountable for violating the order and sending the child to Florida.
Mhm.
She should have been locked up and fined for that. Number two, she was allowed to be disrespectful and yell throughout the entire hearing. She should have been arrested for that. Number
Come on,
three,
man.
she's been collecting child support for years from this man when she's lived with him on 2 different occasions for over 2 years. And the daughter also lived with him alone for half the year in 2022. She should have been ordered to refund that child support that she collected when the child was with him and her mother. And by the way, her mother is also a moron. She
She
told
is.
the judge her mother will claim the daughter. No ma'am, the judge told her no. And then my final thought here, This woman is a 4-time baby mama with 3 baby daddies. No one ever questioned her like we didn't know about this until the end of the case. The fact that she didn't have any of her kids was enough to prove that she was unfit from the first time that she saw the female judge who called her delusional. This woman is mentally a child herself. She's allowed to do whatever without consequences. That's why she and her mama came up with that plan together to take the daughter to Florida. At the end of the day, I don't feel sorry for her. She's the one who did all of this. No one told her to send that child down there without the father's permission. If she hadn't done that, the father would have continued to take care of the daughter whenever she wanted him to, and he would have kept paying child support because he was never going to complain. He only complained whenever she moved the child thousands of miles away to Florida. And that's another thing. Men have to stop allowing them to get over on them. They want to stay out of court, but trust me, whenever it's time for her to do it to you, she's going to do it. I'm going to leave all the links below if you missed any of the other 3 parts. I want to thank everybody in the comments.
Bro, G gang, grind every day going after new goals. You guys wanted the second part. There it is. We got to find out. It was very irritating, like I knew it was going to be. Because this lady, very delusional, very selfish, very self-centered, very mental type. All those things rolled into one. Like how this man, bro, you don't know when you're caught up in a situation, but he was paying child support when she was living with him with the child. Where the hell did they do that at? Then you mean I'm going to take you into my parents' house where you don't have to pay no bills, and you're taking child support money out my check and we live in the same house, but I'm paying for you basically to be here? Are you insane? Oh my, bro, like she said, we got to do better. We got to stop letting them get over on us, because if the shoe's on the other foot, they're for sure 1,000% going to do it to us. And I don't care if it's the parent. I don't care if it's the dad, if this was a dad doing it or if it was a mom. Right is right, wrong is wrong. If there is a parent that's willing and to take care of their child and have to go through all these hoops, whether it's a man or female, bro, this is what we got to go through. This is insane. Like, it shouldn't even be a thing. And at the end of the day, the kid is at the center of it. And as a kid that was moved around a lot and went to multiple different schools, I hated it. I'm a grown man saying I hated it. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot of things, but I hated going to make new friends. I hated going to new schools, being a new kid. I don't think nobody likes that. I hated it. So it does mess with you. You know what I'm saying? And I made sure that my kids didn't have to go through that at all. You know what I'm saying? So, man, you guys want a part 2, you got it. Drop it in the comment section now. Let me know what you think about the outcome. Well deserved. It should have been more repercussions. There wasn't. But at the end of the day, he got sole custody and he's getting child support. You know what I'm saying? He should have got all that back pay back, and she don't got none of her kids back. She got four kids by three different dudes. Yeah, 3 baby daddies. Well, y'all gotta watch who y'all lay up with, man. Y'all, you knew she had kids with other people. You mustn't care. You knew she wasn't a great mother. She wasn't a person that's gonna take care of. Insane, man. I'm gonna leave it there, man. I ain't got nothing to say to this lady. There's nothing else to say about this lady. You guys saw what she's about. You guys see what type of woman she was, what type of mother she was. Barely no type of mother. And you see what kind of mom she had. Just sitting up here, just agreeing with everything her daughter do, not holding her daughter accountable at all. Don't worry. When your daughter keep going through the BS, she gonna keep dragging you through it. That's a fact. I've seen it done. But go ahead and keep letting your daughter do whatever. That ain't how the real world works. And she gonna keep on putting you in her BS. And I guess y'all could deal with that. But as long as the dad get his kid, and you know, I feel like the daughter's gonna have a better life than she would if she would just let these two fools run her back and forth and live away from the parent. And when she grows up and teenager, hey, where's your mom and dad? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you live with your mom and dad? All the stuff that comes with being a child and growing up, questions are gonna be asked. She didn't seem to think about that. She didn't care. It's your boy Fushniga, man. I'm done with this. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. Head over to the reaction playlist. Tap into all the videos. You're gonna find part 1, part 2, and then a bunch of other videos I'm dropping. It's nonstop hustle time. I love interacting with my people, man. You guys keep me going. I hope I keep you guys going. Tap into that community section. It's all about elevation. It's about perspectives in life. We can always sit here and be down, but it's not gonna get us nowhere. We're already going through enough. Everything in this world is high. It's only gonna get worse. So we got to hold each other close and hold each other accountable and push each other through it, one foot in front of the other one. And whoever else want to sit there and be depressed, we're going to get away from them, because you're not going to type hold us down and keep us down, because misery loves company type. I'm gone.